Hey there, everyone. Adam here. Wacky July is finally over. Thank the gods. I'm currently having my neck cricked at a 90-degree angle because that's where we're fucking starting today.
I'm Alabaster the Unicorn, and I'm back as well. And you know what? Fuck it for being here. Anyway, I guess we gotta do some work then.
I'm Mrs. Diaps, and I'm pretty lucky because, I have the book in my hand, so I could just, rotate the book, vertically.
I'm the dioxide, and I really wish my laptop didn't also double as a tablet. So if I try to turn it 90 degrees, the whole screen will just turn 90 degrees with it.
I wish I could do that, but mine's a wide load. So, because I don't want to have the right side of my jaw clench in agony because of what the hell I'm doing to the neck muscles, let's get right in. Words for wenches. You don't need to be a party girl socialite to coin a new phrase. Just play a few rounds of D&D and you'll be spouting off a new lingo in no time. Lingo that you totally don't understand. In addition to dexterity and initiative, words that you might have actually heard of if you decided to pay attention in language arts, and melee touch attack becoming part of your everyday vernacular, you may find yourself saying things in public only your gaming friends would understand because in-jokes are always fun. So, Teddy the DM won't imitate a monster spider gasping its final breath. So, it's all about word choice and inflection with him. If we do a little bit of damage, he says you do damage, but if we really hit the sweet spot, he says you do real damage.
Because most people say you crit.
Well, I
Or
think
like,
it's on, depending on how much damage you pile
Yeah,
on. Like, if you
Yeah,
get
but she-
poked with a knife and you
but
don't
she
have
should-
sneak attack,
but she should mention that critting is like a word, when
yeah,
you roll a 20 and it confirms you crit.
yeah, but I think they're referring to rolling a 1 on a d12 versus rolling a 12 on a d12.
even though that has
Uh,
nothing to do with this subsection, this
no, but
entire bullet point is pointless.
it's plus seems to be more exclusive to their group. If that's why I said, she should probably bring up you crit or something, like what critting is.
When
Because
rolling to hit, sorry, it's just I don't want to be at this angle. My muscles are already screeching. When rolling to hit, we all know that the higher the number, the better chance for success, right? Not in AD&D. So when a player in my group rolls anything over a 17, we all get cocky and say you totally hit. Until you fight monsters that actually have high AC.
yeah, but that's more exclusive to her group, not to what most people say, like most of the slang. That's why that's what I said previously.
Realizing we're onto something here, we decided to take You Totally Hit out of the dungeon conference room and into the conference room. Oh god, they're doing this during business calls. When Armando was presenting the following year's media plans to the brand teams, Lucy told him he totally hit. When an editor came up with a new concept for a young adult book series, I told her that she totally hit. When Hank posted an email to the whole company thanking the executive team for hosting the company picnic, he said the bounce house totally hit with his 3-year-old. Immediately, he was called into human resources. Who hit his child? Question mark. Was he hurt? Question mark. Did he need legal counsel? Question mark. So I kind of enjoy that this group got themselves in trouble with the company for trying to do in jokes.
Yeah, again, these are all in jokes. This is not what other D&D groups say. This is just seems to be exclusive only to their group.
And they're dumb enough to do it in a corporate environment, which can lead to them getting fired and things.
There's a reason why you don't do inside jokes with like with like other people who don't understand it because they won't get the joke.
Okay, maybe You Totally Hit is going to take a little longer to catch on than we thought. It will never catch on.
It hasn't. It's been like what, like 13 years. It still hasn't caught on.
Or maybe one of us needs to host the Teen Choice Awards to make it hit totally stick. Isn't that like some Nickelodeon thing that's not relevant at all now?
That's like, I don't know. I think it's like MTV. Like I think it's like
Oh god, that's
kids
even
trying.
more irrelevant.
Yeah,
MTV stopped being relevant the moment they got rid of their music video stuff.
yeah. Like then replaced it with trashy reality shows, which is what Shelly likes. She likes trashy reality shows.
Ah yes, MTV, the channel that loses to Yogi Bear reruns.
Empty. That's why it's called MTV. Like
The big
empty.
MT. Buffing or
Both.
buff is another phrase with cross-universe appeal. You want to take that, can you? Because my neck is starting to...
Okay, I'll do this. Buffing or buff, another phrase with cross-universal appeal. Okay, so that's like that's one that is pretty universal, like slang. Good for you. To buff in D&D means something very similar in real life. Simply casting spells to make yourself or another character stronger in skills or stats. To buff in the real world might mean getting a pedicure and having your eyebrows waxed and your roots
Jesus
dyed
Christ.
on a Friday afternoon to prepare you for the weekend.
I think she's using the actual term for buffing, where you just apply a motion to cleanse.
God.
I can also buff my floors, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm making them better. They'll look better,
Yeah.
but I'm not making them better.
Yeah, well, buff is a verb in D&D. It's an adjective in the real world.
No,
Unfortunately,
it's also a verb. You can also
Yeah.
use it as a verb.
God. And unfortunately, there is no spell to achieve the desired effect of looking buff. How sad. I mean,
She's never used bull strength or
you haven't
cat's
used
grace
bull strength.
or eagle splendor.
Like, yeah, bull strength makes you buffer.
Or if you want to look more live, cat's grace. Or if you want to look just more
Oh,
conventionally attractive, eagle
speak of the
splendor.
devil. Speak of the devil, she mentions cat's grace in the next bullet point.
Oh,
So she probably has heard of it, but she hasn't heard of bull strength. Anyways, a coworker and fellow female player has been playing D&D for 20 years. She met her husband through playing. More on that later. D&D vocabulary has infiltrated her everyday life in more ways than one. For instance, if Kim avoided tumbling off an uneven curve or getting pelted by pigeon poo, her husband would say, "Looks like you made your saving throw." He might sneak up on her because he cast Cat's Grace. And Kim's favorite fancy pampered chef baker is commonly referred to the household as a +5 dish of baking. Seriously, this what I mean, I've met to be honest, Diapson and I have been playing D&D for since for as long as we've been dating, and I don't know, is this what this is not what normal D&D couples say. What the heck?
I don't know. Diopsid, have you ever said stuff like any of this?
No. I'd be offended to think that I actually wouldn't be able to separate my hobbies enough from normal talking to say bullshit like this.
Because this is this is what couples who play D&D say, honey. Okay, rolling up a character. Okay, that's also pretty normal. Refers to the process of creating your character.
Which I never learned how to do. I was too busy making Stonehenge out of dice.
You might say it took me 4.5 years to roll up my character, who ended up dying on our first adventure. I hope you don't end up saying that. 4 months is a little extreme. I mean, how busy are you?
You didn't even make yours.
Yeah, you didn't. You lazy bitch. Tanking or to tank is a common D&D phrase. I agree, meaning your most powerful character goes up in front or in first, like a tank. Get it? In the case of our game, Ursula acts as the tank. In context, it might sound something like, "You tank, Ursula, and we'll stay back here." In the real world, tanking might mean standing one friend into a new club first to survey the scene before you all blow $20 on a cover charge.
That's not how that works. A
Yeah,
tanking would be more along the lines of, let's say there's a weird, creepy man with a knife, and they decide to ambush you in the parking lot of a Safeway, and your friend is insane and actually tries to hold them back and gets stabbed. That's tanking.
yeah, like you're very defensive, you know.
What that's closer to the rogue, which I mean, rogue scouting is very useful, especially in dungeons, but not exactly
Yeah,
the
but
term.
it's like Ursula's the fighter. I mean, I guess I guess like she means like she's like in the front lines, but like which I guess tanks would be in the front lines, I guess. But
Well,
you know,
so would the DPS guy, which is
yeah,
usually
it would.
like your rogue or barbarian.
Yeah, that's the DPS guy, not like that's not the tank.
Also, tanking's just really hard to do in 3.5
Oh,
without
and
an absurd amount of money.
yeah, like I was able to do that a little bit with my battle dancer Betsy. She was more of a speedy tank, like she was really fast and dodgy. But that was like the only one that I ever came close to being a tank.
Well, there's Lucia, your
Oh
bone
yeah,
knight.
but like yeah, my bone knight. But like then again, I had absurd amounts of wealth. But yeah, bone knights can be pretty good tanks. Like yours, like Dorian was kind of the same way.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Verna was not because I'm incompetent.
Yeah.
Hideously incompetent.
By far the most disturbing D&D phrase I've heard is TPK, which stands for total party kill. We're not talking party kill like the cops came and busted your kegger. We're talking about an encounter that leaves you and your entire party 6 feet under. According to Teddy, a DM doesn't strive to destroy his PCs, but almost any DM can recount an occasion where he or she scored a TPK. Is anyone else bothered by the use of the word scored as I am?
Speaking of TPK, I've never had one happen on my watch as a GM. I was a part of one, which
I
was
don't.
mainly due to the DM not. He didn't realize that the monsters he threw against us. This was an Edge of Empires game, and these monsters were agility crit builds, kind of. He didn't realize how dangerous they were until the fight began.
Yeah, I was well, pretty lucky that I never had a T. I never like was part of a TPK that I mean not that I recall.
Heck, any deaths either of us have had in the campaigns usually got better unless unless the person like decided to go with a new character to mix
I
things
mean,
up.
yeah, like my death with like my gnome clerk sister Ruby, like she eventually got turned back into a gnome. So like after she was reincarnated into an elf, so it didn't really matter in the scheme of things.
Yep,
But
and the same campaign, there also was the party bard that died, and even though we had the means to bring him back, he wanted to roll up Minotaur fighter instead.
oh yeah, that's true. Like again, like it seems like most of my deaths in like have always been kind of a slap on the wrist.
It depends on how the game goes, and actually, the only TPK scenario I have heard of in this group is that Fish, who's been in a couple of our videos, has this idea for one particular campaign he's running, where if we're really wrecking his flow, he will just summon a Woody or the good, the bad, and the ugly, since it's a Western game, and have them fuse together to just use a Gatling gun that fires nukes.
Oh god. Yeah.
It's really more for joking, but it's in the sense that if we just try to wreck the setting or the campaign, it's more of the nuclear option, kind of the Rocks Fall situation.
Yeah, somewhere.
Anyway, let's get out of this because even
Yeah,
though I'm not
anyways.
looking at this, holy crap, my neck still hurts from that.
Yeah, somewhere in time before you or I have ever associated a dungeon with a dragon, someone was busy coining phrases that have now become the D&D lingua franca. Catchphrase or not, D&D's your world. You decide what totally hits. Okay, nope, no more not crooking.
Dungeon decorum. You know the rules. Never wear white while adventuring after Labor Day. Never cast spells with your mouth full. Never go into the East End fully without being fully armed. You won't exactly lose hit points for doing any of these things, except not going unarmed in the East End. But you might lose favor with your group. It's all about manners, as that cardigan-wearing super neighbor taught us. In addition to your role in the party, you will likely have one of two roles at the party, host or guest. If you are the guest, exercise some common courtesy and follow these commandments of gaming. Thou shalt be on time. That's cool not to leave your
For
friends
the
hanging.
record, I say fucker for trying to drag Mr. Rogers into her shitty book.
Yeah, I just tried to.
Oh my gosh, actually she dragged Mr. Rogers into like her shitty book like multiple times, like how she was describing D&D was not a competition, and she also described like Mr. Rogers as lawful neutral.
This is
Like
What?
she really like, because seriously, she's been really dragging Mr. Rogers into it, and she really shouldn't have.
Fred Rogers didn't die for this shit.
This one's okay. Thou shalt be on time. It's not cool to leave your friends hanging, whether it's outside the multiplex or inside a dungeon fortress. Fair enough. Thou shalt not bring electronics to the table. No cell phones. Oh God, it's showing its age. iPods,
Blackberries is
or
showing its age, in my opinion.
Palm Pilot.
Pilots. Oh my gosh.
Oh God, PDAs.
I remember when like my brother had like one in like elementary school when he was like 9, like he was in this special program when they had Palm Pilots. Oh
Just turn the darn things off for a couple of hours, and if you must, keep them on vibrate. Nothing ruins the mood of a dungeon delve quicker than a muffled Justin Timberlake. Oh God, that's showing its.
I don't know what's more offensive, the fact that it's designed to be as dated as humanly possible, or the fact that she keeps bringing Fred Rogers in a book where it's clear there's no audience.
Yeah, but like, you know,
She yo-yos between wine mom jokes and preteen girl Cosmo mags.
More
even like Justin Timberlake was dated.
more on Wine Mom in the next page. Thou shalt not litter. Do not leave your candy wrappers on the table. Never use the upholstery to wipe the chocolate off your fingers. What kind of fucking mongoloid would do that?
Shelly.
And please, people, never feed the family dog a piece of your Nestle Crunch. Well, it depends on.
Have to be told to not feed their dog poison.
Do you have any idea how challenging it is to get a 14-year-old author dogs out of a third-story apartment, even 10th grade? Okay, that just seems like you had experience from that.
That's depressing.
Yeah, I think Randall's theory of Shelly being a serial killer, holds some water with that, because she's literally killing a dog with chocolate.
A dog who already has digestive problems with chocolate.
Okay. Thou shalt not greedy. If your guest offered a pitch in for delivery, bring snacks to share. Not everyone likes high fiber cereal, but they love the chance to.
This is her justifying her better than thou diet.
Thou shalt be courteous. Dungeon mastering is a bit like running a daycare. You have to keep everyone focused, happy, and entertained. Bullshit.
You didn't even. You never DM'd. How do you? Oh wait, she did eventually, but not at this time.
You think they pulled these adventures out of their asses?
I do.
A lot.
Yeah.
More likely to spend a considerable time preparing your fun.
Half of my campaigns, I barely half-ass plan and then just kind of react to how you guys do it.
I always thought being a DM
I only
was more...
plan maybe 2 full sessions with any level of detail, because at any point you may choose to go elsewhere.
Seriously, I never knew that about you, Adam. Like, honestly, like your sessions are fun. I never knew that. You just half-ass them.
I don't half-ass them. I just kind of plot on the fly.
Oh, you're pretty. Yeah, that's pretty good though.
I'm what you call an organic writer. I kind of write as it fits me. Not
The
I don't-
situation you should have. I feel like there should be an out. Maybe the. Then again, that's because I have the more regimented autism. So I tend to like to have nice things, nice, pretty, clean, and planned. But knowing this group, it just takes one. It takes one for Schmerzen for that to go out the door.
Oh,
Well, anyway.
I gave up on that the moment that I created an ancient age setting and just kind of looked at what happened. I'm like, oh.
Thou shall not lose focus. Wow, that's very relevant right now. Keep your eyes on the ball or prize. Face to face with a carcass crab is probably not the best time to tell your friends about the date with a dentist you met at the grocery store.
Wait, isn't that crab that she's talking about like one of those undersea art things?
No.
There's
That's a
a
different
crab
thing.
enemy I know that's
Yep, that's
horseshit.
the monstrous crab.
Okay, thou shall pay attention. What? I'm sorry, I was texting. Okay, haha, you were doing something funny.
That was. I get it. Wasn't funny, but I get it.
Thou shall plan ahead. No, not your next weekend to the. Who can fucking go to the Oregon coast?
Why would I
who
want
is
to go
this?
to that shithole? I'd rather
Remember,
I'd rather go to like Lake Erie.
oh God! Remember, eye on the prize. Always assume the beast will not be defeated by the time your turn rolls around again. So you should have a plan of attack ready and waiting. Or if you're playing Arcane Wizard, if you're playing basically Wizard Rocket Tag, just make sure to have another blast spell.
No, blasting's weak. What you need to do is area control or just erase them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at some point, HP damage is just, anyone can do that. You just roll safe to make sure you don't like turn into Ghibli bits instantly.
Thou shall come prepared. You wouldn't share your friend's deodorant or mascara, right? Well, if you do, you should stop. It's gross and unsanitary. Germs aside, you should also lay off your DMs. Oh, that's paraffin. I thought you said pedophilia. Oh my god. Fucking hell. I have problems.
It's Teddy's drug paraphernalia.
He has to take wheat. He has to
He
smoke.
just shows up completely baked because of the party he has to fucking manage.
I mean, do you blame Teddy? Do you
I don't
blame
him. I don't blame him.
When has a woman ever shunned an occasion to buy new? Oh my god! So buck up and get your own pencils, a set of dice, and the player's handbook, and pick up some mascara. Would you? Well, I'm not emo or homosexual or a drag queen, so
And
I don't think so.
And like, why would you like wear mascara to like play D&D?
So that when your character gets mulched by a chaos spawn, you just immediately
Even
begin
like
sobbing.
Even in like meat space, why would you wear Why would you like really focus on your makeup like going to like a D&D game?
Because when you inevitably lose your mind because your character got mulched, it'll start running down your face.
Okay, this one's fitting. This one goes along with it. The end part of this one goes along with this one. Thou shalt not flirt.
Don't wear mascara.
Amok's flirting with Astrid is harmless.
No, it freaking isn't. Like, honestly, like I kind of realized like what like Amok's like flirting kind of reminds me of. It reminds me of what Osphos did to me and like how he interacted with me and like bragging about how big his dick is and stuff.
Real? What?
Osphos was Diopsid regaled us a tale of one of the players he had the misfortune of playing with. He was a massively insecure British man who was very much obsessed with showing up people.
But yeah, like this is like I kind of finally realized what like how Amok was behaving with Astrid. That's exactly how Osphos behaved with me. I was the druid in the party, and like the Diopsid's girlfriend at the time. And like honestly, like I'll say that like I don't know why like Shelly like puts up with him, because like I know, as a woman, like 99% of women, like that would be harassment. So like no, that flirting isn't okay.
My
Almost
thinking
Okay.
is she knows that amongst players Calvin, I think she knows that Calvin's a very easy simp material.
yeah, like she must like something in him, because like to most normal women, like that would be harassment.
Maybe
Okay.
it's they both like the Cheesecake Factory since they fucking spurted about it so much.
Yeah.
But flirting at the table is disrespectful to your fellow gamers. Please, no fornicating on the table. We have miniatures on this. We have miniatures on this, and
Oh
semen or
no, now
vaginal
I have
fluid will run the game mat.
Oh no, now I have to get a new game mat.
Thou shall not get engaged in unnecessary table talk.
You wrote this rule after the several times you showed how your group refused to fucking do that. Excelente.
Uh, not not only is table talk annoying to your fellow adventurers, it can also be downright dangerous. Teddy tells a story about friends, a group of he DMs that almost bit the dust because they were busy chattering about the night's episode to check for traps. Guess what? They entered a room filled with fireball traps that dropped several PCs to 0 points instantly. You think once burned, twice shy, right? Nope. Still engrossed with the tube time recaps, missed all the hints that Teddy was dropping on the trap recharging, and managed to step in it again. I'll do it again. I'll fucking do it again.
I have
Look
no
at what's
pity for that group.
look at that. Look at the wine mom picture, by the way.
Oh god.
Doesn't that look like somebody that's just like they're just down a bottle and a half of red?
If you don't know it, this is a picture of like Astrid, or in like an apron with like a tray of like drinks and like soup or something.
Seriously, the
Astrid,
picture looks like she.
however, completely forgot to wear the corset to bind her waist tighter today.
Yeah, I think
God.
Russian with
because
a Russian face. It looks like whatever is coming out of her mouth is slurred heavily.
yeah,
She had a
yeah,
stroke.
She's drunk as shit. Look at her. She's drunk as shit. Look
like
at her.
how her mouth hangs open. Yeah, she's totally is drunk.
Okay, guys, I got the Rocky Mountain oysters you fucking talk about. Pukes in the bowl.
Thou shalt be a good host. If you're hosting, have some snacks and beverages on hand. No, those motherfuckers can bring their own shit. You little
Bring your own
fucking
crap, yeah.
you instant little shits are gonna mooch off my own fucking food. I know how this plays. Yeah, the type of people I'm with, I give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Sure, your guest will bring something, but it always makes gamers feel at home when they're sitting. Well, what if they're on a diet or something like that?
Well,
I
I
guess
know the perfect thing to make sure they bring their own stuff. Just cook something that Jack Scalfani made, like Aunt
God.
Myrna's party cheese salad.
Oh
or
God.
just like dump like a can of salsa like on a cream cheese on a block of cream cheese and call it good.
Oh God.
Just slam some raw chicken on some super hot boiling potato and say, "Here you go."
We're,
Is this
we're,
is
we're
this
fighting a salsa golem here. Use these triangle
no
shaped.
no. I see what this is for. This is basically for the DM that's had enough, so he's going to show his own. He's going to show his very passive aggressive way to say that this is over. Get
Just-
the fuck out of my place.
Just get a bunch of chicken wings and have them soak in Fireball whiskey and Mountain Dew for like 5 days. That'll do it.
Could you just imagine Jack Scalfani playing D&D? Oh god, and like him like hosting it and like with a bunch of like food,
Oh my God.
like him as a DM.
I can't see him do that. I can see say a person like Movie Bob try to do that and get pissy when you outsmart his trap and then he kicks you out.
I also
Hell,
can't
yeah.
see it, but that's because you're implying he can actually cook food. What he when
Well,
it comes out of
he does manage to make the horrible rotten chicken go up to temp.
God.
Just you leave it in hot sauce packets for a week and you cook it.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this
That's a
works.
Chipman family secret.
Anyways.
The penguin cometh. Ever get the feeling your friends are keeping something from you, and not in a surprise party sort of way? Astrid did something stupid after a particularly challenging encounter that resulted in Yakama, Jack, and Tenoctress being hypnotized into stabbing each other and speaking in incoherent babble. Oh wow, they all got douched with confusion.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look, they also got to throw the character under the bus again.
Unresolved tensions between Shelly and Helena.
Yes, the Trigonosaurus was much more social and enjoyable this way.
I like the fact we're viewing these games more as like we're trying to get into the mind of this
Yeah,
this
they're
person.
they're kind of like that guy stories in a way.
Only everyone involved except Teddy was that guy.
Oh, God.
Maybe Hank's not, but I don't know. He doesn't say
Yeah,
much.
I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't. I think Hank is okay, but like he plays a half elf ranger, so I don't know. Why would you want to play a half elf?
I think everyone was new except Helena and Armando.
Yeah.
So
He did know
Astrid was
better.
unscathed by the blowout, having cast most of her spells from a safe distance near the exit, just to leave them to die. But by the way, if you try that stuff, a GM, if they particularly feel like punishing you, there's so many ways to get around the people up front. My favorite, just a simple one: spider climb, fly, even just standard druid spells like entanglement, like entangling vines or impeding stones. Because once you're on your butt, you can't really do your spells that easily. So where was I? So yeah, she's about to run away, leaving her party to die. But she was high on adrenaline. She used some spells she's never used before, and quite frankly, we marveled at their competence.
I thought she said she used obscuring mist. Oh God, no!
Not again. We were looking
Oh
for.
no, not the scale. Don't tell me. Well, the scaly like the sorcerer. It's class 2.
It's kind of amazing that sorcerer is just a magnet for dummies.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's Babby's first arcane. It's Babby's first arcane source.
It's
Arcane
basically the wizard without any work.
To give you an idea, though, whenever we get around to it, the Diopsid and I will talk about the War Mage. That's the real man's Glasscaster.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Same
That's-
level of complexity, by the way.
Yeah, I
You
wouldn't
got
mind
even
playing
more
War.
disgusting stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Oh,
mind
man.
playing War Mage someday. That it looks pretty fun.
just the all war mage party. We're just playing Rocket Wizard, the Rocket Wizard tag team.
So they were looking for a magical sword, and we found it after defeating the dastardly beast who owned it. It was just lying on the ground for good reason, and well, it was magical. Not all magic is good magic, as Astrid soon learned. She went right for the sword and hoisted it in the air.
Oh, is it like?
Oh, did she get hit with a curse?
Was it like the Shane story where she's like, "I'm always proficient in the longsword"?
That would be great, but maybe the sword is like the orb of confusion. Only everyone around except her gets hit.
Don't.
I wish her arms would fall off.
Instead of that, it's just you raise it up, it releases like Aquaman. You know how when Aquaman talks to fish in cartoons, it's like a radiating circle. That happens, and then all of them just start going, "Doi, da, blah, da, da."
Oh man,
It happened in SpongeBob with like a Mermaid Man episode.
Yeah, we referenced the few moments earlier.
that's what the orb of confusion is. Where
You do not wield the sword of confusion, for it causes confusion.
seriously, the last time the guy wielded it, shat himself and forgot who he was.
The last guy who wielded it became Joe Biden.
Oh God, that's just mean, man.
Anyways, let's carry on.
The rest of the party became my own Greek chorus. No, drop it, or you stupid. No, if it's cursed, you can't really drop it once you use it.
Oh, I thought you said no, drop it, you stupid bitch.
That's probably what Helena was saying. Naturally, I assumed they were talking to Jack. Clearly, Astrid hasn't done anything wrong.
Oh, that's what my character. She didn't do it. Oh God.
It wasn't until Teddy called me out of the room that I realized Astrid might have made a big mistake. Being asked to step outside with the dungeon master is much worse than being called out of homeroom to go see the principal. I realized this was why my mom doesn't like phone calls after 10 o'clock p.m. I was sure that I was about to hear some very bad news about my baby elf.
Oh,
Astrid wasn't dead, but she had been possessed by the sword, and the darn thing was using her to take it where it wanted to go. It was like an evil hitchhiker riding shotgun, pressing a loaded revolver into my ribcage. Take me to Santa Fe. Stop at the next Jack in the Box. I was out in the hall, arguing with the sword, aka Teddy, while it was telling me what to do. The sword promised a handsome reward. Do you want to be rich? Yeah? Then do as I tell you. Okay. Just so easy.
I like
to
to think that. I
convince.
like to think the fact she wasn't even manipulated. It's just this was her whole nature the whole time. It's
I'm
just
just
the.
envisioning this malevolent intelligence of the sword going, is this bitch serious? It's that easy. It's this easy.
Yeah.
Oh god. Leaving
Like
my
I mean, normal. Really, I usually have to go through long diatribes for all this
I
shit.
usually have to use a mind affecting spell, but oh shit, okay. Leaving my
Let's
group
divide a bunch of verses with it.
Leaving my group unattended had given them plenty of time to debate Astrid's fate. Re-entering the room, I noticed Astrid the Mini at the far end of the playmat, while our fellow adventurers huddle in the farthest corner. Is it a penguin? Is it what?
Wait, what?
Is it a penguin? Yakama asks. We shouldn't take our chances, Tenoctor says. Penguins are dangerous.
What? What is this?
This is the saddest in-joke I'm being a party of. Now there are penguins in the game, I ask? Come on, even Astrid wouldn't run away from a little penguin. They can get pretty big.
Yeah.
They
They're very.
can't even fly. I continue with my mission. I think we should go to Karnath to return the sword. We should help the sword reach its final destination and be handsomely rewarded for our gifts. It's a penguin, Amok says. Definitely a penguin. I kind of hate this. Do it, Tenoctrus demands. Get rid of the penguin. What's a frickin' penguin, I shout, and then I thought I was the one possessed. That penguin, Yakama shouts. With that, the rest of the group ducks while Yakama casts Entangle, a first-level spell that causes creatures, or in this case yours truly, to be entwined in weeds, bushes, trees, you name it. That doesn't happen that way, Chief. Aren't they underground?
What?
Are they underground? Because he can't use Entangle otherwise.
Yeah.
I thought they were in the middle of the town near the bridge where they ganked that
What
guy.
plants are there?
Well, remember the previous? I don't know. It's the DM that decides whether or not the spell works or not.
True, but
Yeah,
like if you're
probably-
in a cave, I probably wouldn't let you be able to pull it off.
Yeah, like you need
Unless
like
there's like
impeding stones.
mosses, lichen, maybe
Yeah, you need
mushrooms.
impeding stones or something.
Like if there was like a lot of mushrooms or moss, I'd probably say sure. Also, the penguin thing don't make no sense.
Apparently, they explain it at the end of this page.
Okay,
Of course.
Of course, because being confused by this book is something I enjoy regularly having happen to me. With the rest of the group ducks, well, okay, entangle, to be entwined in weeds, bushes, trees, you name it. If it grows outside and could potentially house a tick or a red robin, it's on, around, and squeezing the evil demons out of Astrid like an environmentally friendly exorcism. No, it just knocks you prone and keeps you entangled.
In this case, it entangles you.
Yeah. This is why I don't camp, hike, or even park my car in the shade. Nature is evil. It's Jack and Beanstalk gone wild. Turns out that for my group, penguin is a code word for a friend who is potentially dangerous and must be stopped. That... Okay.
Yeah, they should like explain it. Like when you have to explain your joke, it's not funny. Or like explain, like she didn't like she should have just explained it like first.
I don't have any words to say because I think my silence says it all.
But I think she wanted the audience to figure out what it meant the same time she did in the narrative.
Well, I didn't figure out what it meant, so it failed.
Also, it's not funny, and the in-joke makes me just dislike every single human involved in it.
Yeah, what I hate worse is like when people try to explain their in-jokes, like when they're just in-jokes.
We can't trust you. If you're hypnotized by the sword, What if you turn on us? To her credit, Ursula sounds genuinely sad. Hypnosis isn't all that bad. What if I were trying to quit smoking or curb my sweet tooth? I counter. Oh, she actually thinks hypnotherapy does anything. Lovely.
Hmm.
It's no use. They keep me wrapped up in vines until the spell I'm under wears off. 24 D&D hours later, about a game and a half for us. Wait, so she just spent the rest of the session just doing nothing?
Wait, about a game and a half? Like,
Did they
usually,
just run a
have
whole
you-
session of just
have-
sitting there shit talking?
have
So
you ever heard of like time skipping?
it's a game about no. This is like a Seinfeld expert. This is a Seinfeld episode. It's a game about nothing. That's what it is.
And then Seinfeld just says, "Now I know how to make it end." And he just does a flip out of the 20th floor. I know how it ends. Just and then it ends on the ending stinger. Oh god. So they spent a literal game and a half doing nothing.
Oh, great! Like another diary entry.
Oh boy.
Dear diary, why can't I ever have a nice, relaxing day? My feet are killing me. I've got calluses the size of silver pieces, and I'm more tired than a horde of zombies. All I want is a hot bath and a pedicure. Okay, maybe a massage. Instead, I got embroiled in a beatdown with a cloaker. Talk about being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Now I see why my mom said Ursula was a bad influence.
By the way, the calluses are because she's dumb and wore fucking high-heeled.
Yeah, it's not like she's using it like as for like a mount, like what they were originally intended to. Like again, like I would totally love like a paladin who's like some magical girl that like wore high heels because like she rode her horse. But yeah, anyway, it happened like this. We met up with the guys because Jack scored invitations to this hot new club called Temple. Clubs aren't really my scene. In fact, I can't really picture any of us as the clubbing types except maybe a monk. Since no matter what he says, it always sounds like he's saying it in front of from a bar stool with an apple martini in his hand.
So he's sleazier than Leisure Shoot Larry.
Yeah,
Oof.
pretty much. I mean, he's. I wonder, like, what.
Honestly, if you
I kind
told
of
me,
wonder what. I kind of wonder what kind of cleric he is, like what deity like his cleric worships.
I don't
is
know, but
Is it like basic bitch Paler or something, or is it like
I
Haterus?
don't know, but the cleric and Calvin just look like Movie Bob to me now.
Yeah, because I kind of was curious, like what
Like I
deity
just
he
all I can
worshipped.
see is this character looking like a balding fat man with a beard, wearing an obnoxious Hawaiian pattern robe.
Yeah.
Maybe a blazer jacket for maximum awful.
Oh God. Yeah.
Like
He's
something
a
that
sleaze
crawled out of the
ball.
1980s and just shat itself to death on the toilet like Elvis.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like him.
Duran Duran throws up in Eurythmic's mouth. That's how I
God.
envision. That's how I envision a muck.
But I had a few hours to kill before my kickboxing class, so what the heck? At the very least, it would be fun to watch Tenoctress be denied entry because she looked like she's dressed in the MC Hammer yoga collection. She's so last season. Oh yeah, she was there too. She follows Yakima around like a bad reputation.
The difference is Tenoctress is not Klein.
Yeah, and like speaking of Yamaka, I just wonder. Like, I also wonder what deity like he worships because if he's doing all this like perverted stuff in character, and like I don't think like a good deity would really tolerate that.
I don't know. Any deity worth a shit probably has things against creepers.
And like harassment. Jack insisted he knew where we were going, but chose to 3 miles later we began to doubt him. That's when Tenotrus took over the lead, believing she knew right where to go. She did too if we wanted to go to a real temple as opposed to a club called temple. Talk about literal. I wonder where she thinks the Stork Club is. No time to argue because wouldn't you know it?
I
The
don't know what
sky.
any of these are.
Yeah, like what? I don't know what any of these are.
Does I'm sorry, I'm starting to get lost in these diatribes. What does this have to do with learning D&D? What does this have to do with anything?
And your diary sections are all about saying the session they just went over from her character's point of view.
Allegedly, because you know
Yeah.
that Shelly and Astrid are basically the same character.
Yeah, like it's
It's never good to play. It's never too good to play yourself. It's sometimes
yeah,
good
it's
to
exactly what the Scaly did. Like it was just him but an asshole. That's the same thing with like Shelly. It's like her but like a bitch.
I try to play people. I try to play people opposite of my personality. It doesn't always work, but gosh, I try so hard.
In my
Yeah,
case,
same here.
I have a fault with that myself. I can play outside of my character, but I have to watch that because sometimes they start to blur.
It's glad I have characters like Mir that are certainly counter to my personality.
Yeah. And I have like my unarmed sword sage Ambrosia who I kind of like playing like the bitchy mean girl sometimes.
I had a lot of fun. It's still kind of part of it, but I still love playing Dog F because I could feel like death, and I could just.
I kind of feel like there is dog at that dog av is like if you were a dwarf and you just completely just had were completely socially retarded.
Like
I'm actually having trouble figuring out which character I played as was closest to me personality wise.
I don't know. Like I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Like I mean, you tend to like. I mean, I don't know really because like you tend to be really good at like separating you from like the character. That's really hard.
I mean, I'm not completely like I said. It's something I'm occasionally guilty of, but I try to avoid it. I try to if it's a part of my personality traits, I usually emphasize that more than myself. Like the best way to describe Dogev is it's me if I was woken up an hour after I went to sleep. Yeah, that's actually about right because he's perfect if you don't feel like doing anything right. So Dogev, what do you think? Just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. I don't know, like yeah, I don't know which character is close to me. Probably like my guess like my druid was more like me if I was a stoner. But yeah, anyways, everyone inside, Yakima ordered, which was simply brilliant. I mean, I'd probably still be standing there with my stilettos mired in mud if I hadn't suggested we take cover. Sorry, I'm just bitter because I missed kickboxing and the first 20 minutes of Project Runway. The temple appeared deserted and creepy. It felt like we weren't alone, and a shiver ran down my spine. Do you hear that? Jack asked, and I could only assume he was referring to the distinct low mournful wail. Everyone was visibly shaking, rain be damned. I thought I'll sacrifice my shoes and 3 more pairs rather than have to face what we knew was lurking behind the shadows. But
In
it was
reality,
too
it was just a douchebag teenage gnome who was just doing ghost noises as a joke.
yeah.
Actually,
But
that'd
it
be a
was
fun.
too
That's
late.
a. I just came up with. That's a funny idea for a little encounter. The temple, this old church is haunted, and you just hear like this kooky space cook's woo noise, and it's just a fucking gnome. It's just a gnome tricking people for fun.
Yeah. From behind one of the columns, the cloaker appeared. A cloaker is a clever mantle-like beast that gets its name from its black wings that resemble a cloak when resting. It wasted no time swooping down and engulfing Tenotris in those very mighty black wings. Holy hellhounds, Jack yelled. It's got Tenotris. Hey, thanks for the play-by-play.
I kind of like the 60s Batman vibe that Jackie's just had.
I know, Jack. Jack is awesome. Jack seems like seems pretty cool. But yeah, Yakima pulled out his longsword. Ursula already had her greatsword in hand. Stab it, Amok yelled, ready to back them up with his heavy mace. Ursula sent a mighty thrust through one scaly black wing. Ow! We heard from within. Jack
She
witnessed.
stabbed Jack.
He scored. Wow! The true cloakers emit creepy, mournful howls that are enough to knock even the strongest warrior off kilter. But this was something new altogether. These sounds were almost human. Yakima stabbed the beast one more time, and this time we heard, "Help me!" I didn't think cloakers could speak. They can't. That was Tenotris and they're calling for help. But come on, what did she think we were doing? We were stabbing as fast as possible.
Okay, here's my question. Why is it not written like a diary anymore? Why is it written like a really bad book?
Yeah, it's like
It's a really bad book. That's why.
Yeah, it's like a bad book. Just as Ursula was about to go back for seconds, Amok told everyone to hold up. We're stabbing Tenotris. Well, the cloaker had Tenotris in such a tight grip that she couldn't manage to shapeshift. She was stuck inside, suffering numerous spike stabs and losing strength by the millisecond. Yikes. Normally I'd pay money to see something like this happening to someone like her. Oh, you bitch!
Yeah.
You really hate her, but even I felt bad.
No, you don't. No,
You don't. You don't. We practically turned the girl into a Jackson Pollock painting. I made up for my ill wishes by nailing the beast with a couple of magic missiles. A monk attempted to club the beast over the head, doing a small amount of damage, but still the death grip remained. Yakuma shocked his longbow and got the cloaker square in the forehead. I cast Ray of Exhaustion. I'm new at this one, having only practiced a few times, but I must be a natural. The beast was immediately exhausted, giving Ursula a clear shot with her great sword.
That's not why it was a smart idea. Since it's a grapple and that's pure strength, having something like exhaustion on that target's pretty useful.
Yeah, in fact,
Like
she
it
doesn't
seriously cripples their strength.
does she even know what grappling is? Like, she never explains what a grapple is. That's kind of important in this book. Like, she doesn't explain what a grapple is in this book.
I still would say Ray of Enfeeblement's a little bit better, but hey, exhaustion still works for what was happening here.
Yeah, I know. She still should have she didn't explain. She still should have explained what grappling is, because it's kind of important. It loosens its grip enough for Tenotris to slip out from underneath. She was pretty beaten up, but we didn't have much time to heal her before the spell ended. Yakima and Jack finished the cloaker off, stabbing it several times in the head while the rest of us rushed outside. Who knows if there might have been cloakers inside? Amok cast Kiermodic runes and Tenotris regained her strength. We decided we'd had enough excitement for one night and headed home. That was probably a better workout than my kickboxing class.
They struggled against one fucking cloaker.
It's weird. If I weren't with my friends, I never would have gotten into that mess. But if I weren't with them, I never would have gotten out of it. I guess it's a fair trade. Tomorrow I'm getting massage. Love, Astrid. Okay.
It's a long one.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's pretty long.
but guess what, guys? We're actually almost to the food, the recipes.
Ah, yes, shit cooking. Oh, hey, food for thought. So impress
Yeah.
your friends and get everyone in the mood for some good old-fashioned monster hunting. Below is a sample menu when hosting your first D&D surprise party. Oh, it's a surprise!
Oh no.
You just ambush your friends with D&D, like, we're gonna be playing as monks punching out bad guys in China. And they
Yeah.
just, why are you leaving? I don't understand. Word to the wise, try not to serve messy finger foods that could drip onto the playmat and get your dice all sticky. Sloppy dice, drink twice. Oh wait, that's a different game. I don't want to know what that game is.
Okay, let's look at the menu. Notice, like, that she only has recipes for 2 of these things.
Also, all of her drinks are alcoholic.
Yeah, because
I mean, to be fair, pretty heavily hammered in order to play D&D with her.
Yeah, yeah, but like, does she like, had she ever played D&D sober?
I don't think she's even sober when she's at her job.
Honestly, yeah, she's probably a high-functioning alcoholic.
So the cocktails include Bloody Marys, Black Martinis, and a Vampire Kiss.
What's Vampire Kiss? I'm kind of like not. I'm not really like good with my cocktail names. I know what a Bloody Mary is, but like a Black Martini can be anything, and like I'm not really versed in my cocktails.
I wish Randall was here, but he's off fighting the fishmen of Innsmouth.
Yeah, I wish I'm sure I'll ask Randall sometime because I'm not really fluent in my alcohol.
So some starters, which is just another way to say appetizer, include 7-player dip. What that dip is, who the hell knows?
It's
Also
like 7. I guess it's like 7-layer dip, but it's like a pun.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is. By the way, that's messy. You don't want to be using anything with dip. Magic mushroom pizzettes, which are just
Magic-
little
Oh
pizza
no.
rolls.
Magic mushrooms? You is it like you're doing shrooms while playing D&D?
Let's go on a magical journey.
It'll be like it's gonna be like Mazes and Monsters when you're tripping.
The only way, no, that's a horrible idea. Never do that if you're playing D&D.
It'll just be like it'll kind of I'm sure it'll like devolve into Mazes and Monsters, like with you tripping and going on a magical journey.
Dragonfire salsa, which I guess is salsa with habanero sauce or something. Hellish hummus with pita chips.
What makes it so hellish?
Maybe she put hot
Also,
sauce
I
in
think
it.
most of this stuff is just naming them things.
Dungeon delving dill dip. A lot of dip. Why are you using dip? That's messy. You don't do dip.
Yeah. Dip is messy, like it can like drip and stuff.
Holy guacamole with garlic tortilla spikes. Okay. Glitter dust ball of cheese. It's literally a ball of cheese. Just
Oh god.
What like are you like is she like putting that edible glitter on it? Like
No, I think literally everything outside of the stuff she gives the recipes for are literally just normal foods. She's just renaming to sound more D&D like.
because they actually do have edible glitter. They actually do
Yeah,
sell
but
edible
I
glitter
really
at
don't
baking
expect Shelly
stores.
would know that. I honestly think, like, the pizzettes are just pizzettes. Nothing's
They're
fancy
just
about them. The
literal
hummus,
pizza
it's
rolls.
just hummus. Yeah, like, all this, it's just simply normal stuff with nothing extra. She just named them to sound wacky.
Yeah, but my question is it just lumps of cheese or is it just Cheetos or cheese balls?
How about no. You take cheese whiz, then you take like melted cheese. You take like melted cheese, then you take nacho cheese and shredded cheese. Then you use Cheez-Its and Cheetos to dip it into.
No, I have something more horrible. You know how to make it? You know how you can make Parmesan cheese crisps?
Oh no.
Oh.
You do this, right? And then you layer on Cheese Whiz, but with sprinkles on it.
I think like when she means cheese ball, I think it's like, there's this like, you make it with like it's like cream cheese based and like and like other cheeses, and it's like in a ball, usually with like almonds around it or like something like that, and like you like dip like crackers in it or something. I've seen it like at
Either
like
way, it's
parties.
baffling. Zombified zucchini Fritos? Is that what? Oh, bites.
Like what does she mean by zucchini bites?
Do you just slice up some zucchini and just here you go, fucker, eat it raw, or is it cooked?
Or do you like put anything on top of it? What makes it so
Do you like
zombified?
fry it like what you can do? I don't know, but deviled egg spread on herbed
Crostinis? What's a crostini?
Stamattina mi sono alzato. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.
So it's literally just
Like
paprika and that weird egg mix that you make for deviled eggs on
yeah, like the yolks of deviled eggs plus a little mayonnaise.
on top of some bread.
Yeah, whatever.
Pigs in a
Halflings in a
blanket.
blanket.
Yeah, halflings in a blanket, pigs in a blanket. Entrees are the main course. So, man, it got. I can't read it because
it got me manicotti.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Then there's magic missile meatballs. See page 130.
Oh, we will in the future.
Tandoori chicken, or is it? That kind of scares me. That or is it?
Tandoori. Is it just some nuclear waste she found in a dumpster? Who knows? Is it the flesh of her dead? Right? Is it the flesh of her arthritic dog that she butchered?
So these are basically chicken on a stick, because it's tandoori chicken spears.
Oh, is it just literal chicken balls on sticks, like little chicken meatballs on sticks?
I mean, she already has magic missile meatballs, which I think like magic missile meatballs are more of a side rather than an entree, in my opinion.
Rather than steamed artichoke, the monster with garlic butter dip.
What is with all these dips?
Yeah, you want to keep it clean, but dips. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Initiative rolls with I can't read that word.
Herbed olive oil.
So literally, she knows about compound butter. She knows that you can marinate or infuse just by letting ingredients with a lot of fragrance or chemicals in it stew in the product. Like a compound butter is dirt fucking simple. You just effectively roll butter around in your herb, and then you just kind of roll it into a cube.
Yep, and then there's the desserts, which is red devil's food cupcakes and angel food cake with midnight berries and wine.
Oh, of course, wine. We need more booze to eat any of this.
Yeah.
But red devil's food cupcakes, that's just basic. That's red velvet. I know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
An angel food cake, really? No pretzels, by the way.
No pretzels.
That'd be a great appetizer is pretzels. You can have like hard. You can actually make your own soft pretzels, and that'd be pretty cool. You could do like pretzel ropes.
Yeah, like what would you like if you were gonna like host a D&D party? What would you like, have for the menu?
Well,
preferably stuff that's not too greasy or slimy.
Which that rolls out a lot of the dip stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or stuff that just makes your hand like. I know pizza's a staple, but depending on the pizza place, it can be really greasy, and then you get all over the miniatures and dice and everything. Especially if you have that one player who's grabby with everyone else's stuff.
Yeah, definitely not. So definitely not pizza.
Maybe a stromboli where you wrap up the pizza into like its own pocket.
Yeah, that would actually work a lot better.
Like a stromboli or a calzone.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, you can even have a calzone. It's like I defeated a calzone golem and dissected
it. Oh my gosh! Like you just like if your party's finding a calzone golem, you just put a calzone on the bed.
It always warms my heart knowing that calzone golems are a legitimate least added up creature in D&D 3.5.
Yeah, that'd be fun if, like, you know, if, like, you just flop the calzone on the playmat.
I'd probably, I mean, it depends. If I feel like effort, I'd probably try cooking some stuff. But if I don't feel like effort, I'd probably just get pigs in a blanket. Because that's
Yeah,
pretty not messy. Or just hot dogs. Hot dogs are not messy unless you choose to really doll them up.
yeah, like put a lot of toppings on them.
Or
Or, like,
burritos.
yeah, burritos are great.
Yep. Other ones would be finger sandwiches aren't a bad choice. Basically anything that's not really greasy. If you make grilled
Cheez-Its with cream cheese as a spread.
grilled sliders, actually.
Grilled sliders, yeah, that would work real well. Cheese
Yeah.
sandwiches, although that can get a little buttery.
That's grilled cheese for those of you who don't live where he lives.
Yeah, anyways, where's the party?
Oh, the party's the opposite side of the planet, wherever this miserable
Oh,
group is.
this picture. Hold person, keep Mr. Grubby from becoming Mr. Grabby. The whole person stops gropers.
I think I'm gonna have to show this because I think this finally shows you what Calvin's character looks like.
Yeah. I just don't know how Shelly puts up with this.
Don't know. I think she just knows he's an easy target. So where's the party?
Geeking out with the girls on a Friday night sounds like an activity you might enjoy. Great, now what? If you don't have a game or an experienced DM literally at your fingertips, fear not. There's probably a game being played near you right now.
Not with all the game stores closing and collapsing.
Yeah,
and that was happening before the Woo flu.
That was even before the coup.
That was even before the Woo flu.
Yeah.
Well, but wasn't a thing what about when this book was written though?
It was still declining.
It was still declining, but like it's like super declining.
Mainly because a lot of local game stores didn't make enough money, since again you could usually get them either directly from wholesalers, say like Amazon, or from drive-through RPG. That was a thing at the time.
Yeah, like honestly, like this just shows that she hasn't really future-proofed her book at all. Like all this is kind of dated, especially this advice.
And again, the other thing is a lot of them still rely on comic releases too, because a lot of game stores also do comics, which don't sell at all. The only stuff that sells is the old stuff.
Mm-hmm. Joining a D group is similar to joining a poker game or a writer's group or a knitting circle. Actually, I have no idea if it's similar to a knitting circle. I don't know. I think it's actually very similar. I've been to like a few like knitting and crocheting circles like when I was in college. It's a social activity. But I like the visual comparison of the two in my head. I like to cast on for one up by one ribbing, please. That's not how like knitters like work. That's not how it works.
She hasn't picked up needles at all.
Yeah, she's not even like crafty or like creative.
Oh, we figured that out in the first fucking episode.
Yeah, probably the best thing she could do with knitting needles is poke her eyes out.
No, because to follow Randall's hypothesis, the best thing she could do, and by best I mean, you know how awe-inspiring doesn't mean good?
Yeah.
Turning her gifts from animals to children.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. The point is, these groups already exist, so all you need to start rolling is to pull up a chair. But how do you find these elusive groups, you ask? It's not like D&D is played on AstroTurf in broad daylight. Here are some tips. Oh god. Boys first. Chances are at least one guy you know played D&D when he was a kid.
Oh, fuck no.
Know that friend who has superhero action figures on his bookshelf and high concept art made out of Legos? Yeah, start with him. No doubt he was some he has some slain skeletons crammed in his closet next to the Star Wars t-shirts and comic book lending library.
Not only is it
He'll probably
stereotypical, but no. To give you an idea,
no.
not a single one of the frickin' geeks and nerds that I hung out with in school knew what the hell D&D was. It wasn't until I got into high school.
Oh yeah, like you know, these
And even then, the
people-
guy I knew that liked tabletop gaming, it wasn't D&D for him, it was BattleTech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll probably regale you with tales of his D&D adventures. How he and his two best friends used to spend entire summers camped out in their basement crafting their own adventures. Most likely he'll be tickled with the thought that you'd like to slay a few dragons by your side. Oh god, here it is. Readers beware. If he doesn't already have a crush on you, this will most likely seal the deal.
By the way, this is
Oh,
the
no.
most contemptuous take on the Wizards of the Coast audience you could possibly write.
Be a warforging vixen on the playmat, but be gentle off. Rejection stings no matter how many hit points you have. So just reject him, like use him, but like reject him.
That
This
is total
really-
thoughter. That is thoughterry.
That is thottery. Like you just use him to like play D&D with, like, but totally like reject him, like
Because
Just-
it's not wise for me to keep, because we have done our kind of daily
Because-
movie Bob
and,
allotment. There is
and-
one comment I want to make. This is very similar to, she writes like Movie Bob does in the sense she accidentally writes out who she is as a person in her book.
and she's basically implying that like those kind of like people don't make good partners.
Yeah.
I don't know, like people who play D.
Also,
like,
that if
like,
you have
re-
one nerdy hobby, you have to like them all. You can't just like say comic books or
because
Lego.
that's the whole. In fact, that's the whole point of the book. Like she's saying, like she's like a girly girl,
But what about
a nerdy
about-
hobby.
For fuck's sake, you know how popular, like, a lot of people don't give a shit for anime or manga, but they'll say they love DBZ.
Yeah, or like they love Studio Ghibli.
also the thing is, like, what if your nerdy hobbies is like, what if one of your geeky hobbies is more, what if you geek out more towards like just boring stuff like military ordnance and other things like that?
There's dudes that spend millions of dollars just trying to get like 1900 Boer rifles.
Now that
Yeah,
would be
or like,
War
or
rifles.
like you geek about history.
1 second, we're gonna. Sorry about that. I had to get some beverages, a lot of beverages.
In the meantime, it's me, it's Biggie. I came back from the latest Medea movie. She sacrificed herself to defeat Thanos. It was pretty gripping.
Oh, fuck you, man. I hope you drown. Oh well.
Tyler
Yeah.
Perry is a brilliant comedic genius of our time, on the par of Shakespeare.
So, anyways, where were we?
It's getting kind of late, so you're just in time to actually help us wrap up, but not quite, because there's still a couple of points. We're at join the club.
The
Yeah.
life of the matriculated, discounts on youth hostels and the lack of common sense not to stay at one. Those were the days. Actually, no, they weren't. Someone stole my Walkman from a hostel in Belgium, and my friend got ringworm from the sheets.
So
Thus
here's my
love-
question. How is she complaining about literal first world problems if she was rich enough decades ago?
I mean, to be fair, I think ringworm's at least a second world problem.
Yes, the communist world was infected heavily by ringworm, I bet.
Oh my god, that's just fucking Belgium. It's
Yeah.
Belgium. That's a first world country.
Yeah. Thus
It's not-
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not a country because its government usually isn't working at all. They hold
Still,
the
the
record for the
point-
longest amount of consecutive days of government shutdown.
This is Dice Scum. This isn't Scum country scum.
True,
Thus
yeah.
Thus my love affair with 4-star hotels began. Excuse the tangent. We were talking about students for a reason. They often belong to clubs, and college campuses usually have gaming clubs. If you are a student, you might try joining or starting a D&D club. It's cool, it's vintage. If you're not a student, please don't try this on a college campus. People will start rumors. In fact, I will start rumors.
Reminder,
Fucking cunt!
it gets better because, reminder, in the part you weren't there for, she suggests using your feminine wiles to get the geek kid to get you into D&D, and then dump
Squeeze
them
your
like a hot
titties.
potato.
Yeah, like, I'll just say,
Alright,
like...
what's in...
And I'll just say, like, about, like, college clubs, like, from my experience, like, as a college student, most of those clubs tend to be a little bit too inclusive, and you tend to get a lot of that, guys.
That's, like, it's 1/3 of all on tabletop horror stories usually start in a school, a D&D club.
Yeah, like, they're just like a magnet for that, guys, because they're so desperate to get members that they won't kick them out.
Especially if you're in a bumfumpkinville state like Arkansas, Alaska, Wyoming. Like, you're fucking desperate in those places.
Alright, what's in store? Sorry, Nordstorm isn't likely to hold gaming groups anytime soon. Too bad. Well, fuck you, cunt. Because I could roleplay a socialite spendthrift pretty much every day.
That's her
But there's-
life. That's not a role play.
But there are some better retail options if you're looking for an existing group or the means to start your own. Behold, the gaming shop, chock full of trading cards, action figures, comic books, and people that smell like fucking trash!
Also, don't forget bankruptcies.
Yeah, because, like...
No!
The question is,
like-
since it came from the time,
Because
Well,
We
this
did
is-
a comics.
even,
we
like,
did a-
2007...
We
Yeah.
did a comics gate. We saved gaming.
oh, this would have.
Comics.
Do you think this included the gameplay? Since this would have been around the time that this would have came from.
Probably.
Well, the game place was still going strong at that point. I don't know if it's still open. It probably ain't.
It's not.
It's not...
It's under new
Yeah,
management.
yeah, I think, like, there was the gameplay, so God.
All right. Now, getting back, I was making a stinky joke. Holy shit! Oh, I have not been in one comic book shop that hasn't smelled like ass.
Oh yeah, the
Jesus.
one I went to when I was a kid, it smelled like my basement, which meant there was
Oh.
mold
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah, the one, like, the trading card and, like, comic book shop, like, you know, that, like, my brother would often go to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It smelled like mushrooms.
That means there's mold in there and they need to cleanse it.
Yeah, it's
Am I the only
Uh,
one without a bad hobby shop experience? And again, I was from a small town that had a little hole in the wall place.
yeah, your
they're really-
your hobby shop is nice.
It's the exception, not the rule. The current one that I very occasionally go to is clean and cold, so it's not. It doesn't
It-
smell like a basement.
It's not that it's a bad experience. It's a smelly experience. But anyway, getting back on topic. Oh my! Maybe you walked past it quickly on your way to get your nails done, or maybe you dropped your little brother off there while you were getting your nails done. I like nails.
I like leaving my
pedicure-
brother to get abducted by weird fat dudes in trench coats at these gaming stores.
Oh
So
my
she
God.
she leaves her brother there.
Oh
while she
my gosh,
exploits.
that actually reminds me of, like, a story about, like, you know, in my town, there's actually a pedophile who, like, lured kids by, like, promising them Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh
You
cards.
sound way too positive to be speaking about that.
That was actually true.
Well, we can talk about Mr. Diopsid's weekend later.
Fuck you.
No, that was Osphos' weekend.
Yeah, that was Osphos' weekend.
You dropped off your little brother down there while you were getting your nails done while exploiting Asian migrants. Regardless, is a great place to meet other gamers. Walking in there is also great self-esteem boost.
What a complete cunt.
You'll feel like a homecoming queen in the middle of an AV club meeting.
Take that, dad who left me.
Oh my God, that's just sad.
This fucking cunt.
You know, the funny thing is, I expected her to be more catty towards Elena's character in the story, but this is her at her most repulsive.
Yeah, like, like seriously,
This is movie Bob brick by brick level of revealing one's faults.
Gamer, log on. Mom been telling you for years that meeting people online is a wave of the future. She even gave you a 3-month subscription to one of those internet most popular sites. Or maybe that's just my mom. Kudos to her for thinking it would only take 3 months to find the love of my life.
She
But
just
to
wants
be
you
honest,
to get out of the house. Just get married.
Yeah, she's just like, go find. She's like really telling her to go find a husband.
Find a
You
man,
must be
spawn
grandchildren.
grandchildren that I could spoil.
But to be honest, I really wouldn't have liked a KitchenAid mixer or a spa. I fucking love KitchenAids. Can I just say I found my neighbor threw out her KitchenAid and I have it still to this day, and it's the greatest fucking thing ever.
Oh, they're great.
I want a KitchenAid.
Especially they're great, especially for making mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Well, I just got the magic bullet, which does pretty good.
I wish I had a KitchenAid.
They're pretty good. I just made fuck it. I'll talk about I'll make a cooking show later. If Lovebirds
Actually,
can find,
we're getting closer and closer to the
Hmm.
recipes. In next episode, we're almost certainly going to see them.
if Lovebirds could find their one true mate online by simply typing in their zip codes, you could find a group of adventurers willing to storm the castles with you simply by doing searching online. You'll find about a zillion resources by searching, but a good place to start is wizards.com/community.
That website is completely restructured, so that link won't work anymore.
Yeah, the good idea they nuked their forums a few years ago, where people had to quickly scramble to archive everything because there was a lot of really good guides for older D&D editions for character building, and also some comments from the book writers themselves.
That's how the Hexblade fixes were introduced.
Yep, same thing with the Shadowcaster.
Also, the only place you can find some of them now is Giant's Playground, the forums for it, because some of the tips and guides were brought over to there for a lot of classes that you wouldn't otherwise know about, like Shair or Deathmaster.
Yep, I myself just copy pasted as much as I possibly could and put them into my D&D folder on my computer.
A lot of good stuff was destroyed in the Great Purge.
You'll find plenty of D&D players looking for new players to join an existing group or someone eager to start a new group.
Bullshit. Every one of these motherfuckers cry for a DM to run things for them. That's my experience with Roll20. If you ever try running, looking for a game, it's always everyone but the DM is filled in because they just have this game, but they're too lazy to actually do it.
Yeah, both ways.
Straight-
So they already have the entire setting and everything planned out. They just want someone to run it for them because they've made the setting to be the player in, not the DM.
How would they feel if I just summoned a Gundam and sent it to their universe? I wonder how they would respond to that. I'm sure they'd appreciate
They would chimp
that.
out and try to kick you out, probably.
I'm the GM, bitch. I got access to your whole game and I delete it.
I think I'm just gonna hijack if I'm ever insane enough to do that. I think I'm just gonna hijack Fish's idea of just using a dancing cowboy with nuclear Gatling gun
This is a message to everybody listening to the Dice Scum. Find a game predominantly ran by furries, and they want you to be the GM. Initiate the furry holocaust in their game. You must do it for great progress, my friends.
Or
Thank
just
God.
tell them to play what is it, Iron Claw or whatever, that one weird furry thing. Just tell them to play that.
No, don't tell them to play that. Make their life miserable. We should hunt down furries and fucking kill them. Kill them all.
Well, much like we should hunt down cripples and end their existence for the good of God.
Joke's on you, bitch. I just lie about being crippled.
That's what you
Alright.
say. That's what you say.
He can't even admit the truth of his hair being curly. So
Okay. Other than great resources, the Role Playing Gamers Association, or the RPGA. Yep, you guessed it. The RPGA is an organization of role player games offering fans a chance to hook up with other gamers and getting playing tips, free adventures, and rewards for playing. If your favorite grocery store's membership club on steroids.
this is when the RPGA was kind of new, and it actually wasn't present in a lot of jurisdictions. For example, there weren't really official branches out in the West during this time, especially in the Rocky Mountain states. So have fun. They didn't exist
they-
then.
Speaking of which, are they still going to this day, or are they?
They've gotten
are they dead?
more influential and widespread because 5e, they're really trying to casualize and introduce people with it.
Oh God,
Cruising online.
filthy
Don't forget.
casualization.
Don't forget, these are strangers and you're a nice girl. Please use caution when meeting people online. If someone tells you he's relaxing in his tower wearing nothing but stilts and a barbed wire teddy, what?
What?
the-
Like it's like you're literally wearing a leotard made out of barbed wire? Like what the hell is wrong with you?
This is her attempt to make the joke of just sitting there buck ass naked on your dirty fucking
But
futon,
why would you
masturbating to
wanna
a
wear,
bottle
like,
to a book of guns and ammo and wondering how fucking crazy you are.
Why would you want to wear like lingerie made out of like barbed wire?
Okay,
That's
never
uncomfortable.
never do online search for dungeons, especially at work. Trust me, okay? You dumb shit.
I will say, never mix business with pleasure. It has disastrous results.
All right, I've spoken long enough. I've been fumbling these words too much. Who wants to take over?
Yeah, we could go a little further. Why not? Let's at
Yeah,
least do
oh
members
God.
only.
Members
We can
only.
go a little further.
Members only. So it's like the Young Turks, only we're allowing you to see the members only section. Paywalling jerks. So, a Dungeons and Dragons game group is only as good as its members, and its members are the best in small numbers. If you're denied entry into a local D&D game, don't take it personally. It's kind of like that annoying rule at beer gardens and popular clubs. No one can enter until someone else leaves. No, that's Thunderdome.
It's. I would love the fact that you had to do that. Like this is like really some sociopathic level D&D game.
One group enters, no, two groups enter, one leaves.
Just each hands you a knife and like.
When
The
you
real-
show your character sheet, they give you a real weapon.
Don't you know that's Uncat with Stick?
Well, the difference is they're real weapons.
Also, this is playing mazes and we are playing Dungeons and Dragons. No, this is mazes and monsters. Have fun.
Whenever you see a gamer girl in public, make sure to make weird masturbatorial sounds. When we go after her.
Here's the lovely typo that was never caught. Two May gamers.
Ah!
Whoops. Around the table can spoil the fun. Just think, if there are 15 people playing, the beast could be slain before you even get a turn. All that prepping of spells and loading of crossbows for nothing. It's best to keep it intimate with 6, maybe 7 players maximum. Or you just have big fucking mobs. That's usually the solution to large groups.
Yeah, like, you know. Yeah, exactly.
Social studies? What?
What?
Oh my gosh, this is bad.
Oh boy. You've heard the expression show don't tell, right? I thought I'd heed that advice when it comes to pledging my allegiance to Dungeons and Dragons. It's not a cult!
Pledge your
What the fuck?
allegiance to Satan.
The mission: sport a nifty Dungeons and Dragon t-shirt while hanging out in a beer garden at a busy outdoor festival.
I think I know what t-shirt she like wore. Is it the one with like the D20s on your
God.
that say like yes they're natural?
There's a strong possibility too. It could be like a bootleg shirt. It's a shitty JPEG image of a silver dragon.
I still think that it would be cool if she had the yes they're natural like shirt. Like
It's one of the failed products for the Dragonlance movie. It's just a really bad
Hard to
CGI Tiamat on it.
Oh,
Hard to
no.
believe. Out of everybody in this group, the only one that's more excited to see boobs would be the female of the group.
Well, I just know that because like there's a lot because like I look at like D&D. I've looked at like D&D shirts for women, and that's what most of them are like a variation of that.
So what you're saying is Wizards of the Coast are natural sexists, and they only care about sex, is what you're
Oh,
saying.
these are like third party and stuff. Like they're like
No,
you
these
know,
are the Chinese sweatshops that Wizards of the Coast's contracts.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's also I also found another like D&D shirt where it says like sleeping with the dungeon master on it.
Oh God. Oh no.
Of course, I'm not like that sleazy to wear it. Of course.
No, it's just that it exists and that shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean it's like something. It's like you're like wearing it and like you're proud of it. That's
It's like
not
peanut butter and asparagus. It don't fucking mix.
like that's not something you should be proud of. Like
No,
saying
in this case,
you-
or in this case, Adam, it's peanut butter and semen. This is what it is in this case.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you think you get a buck to suck that?
fuck this.
The last time someone showed up with a jar of peanut butter at Chuck's Bucket Suck, he was thrown out.
That was like Chuck allergic to peanuts.
No, he knew exactly what he was gonna do with that jar, and he says, "I don't serve perverts here." As he takes this, as he puts on like this sweater covered in
alright.
Twizzlers on a woman.
All right,
Now get to
all right,
sucking.
let's get back on the goal.
Okay, the observations definitely notice some double takes, and it is there the natural. It has to be the natural shirt.
Yeah, we should like probably like insert that somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's for
Yeah.
this. It's definitely their natural shirt because of the reaction.
I'm
Yeah.
wearing it right now.
Thankfully, Piggy's obese enough to actually have the natural.
The results even prove it even more.
Results inconclusive. After 43 minutes of people staring at my chest and pointing, insecurity got the best of me, and I gave my friend $20 to borrow her sweatshirt.
A buck to suck.
I guess that's where they went, to Chuck's Bucket Suck.
Oh God.
You should got the Twizzler sweater so that people could suck on it.
She feels embarrassment because she realizes her tits are too small.
That's probably the reaction.
She does not have the tits that do not quit.
Yeah, they may be natural, but they didn't confirm.
Damn. Shit. That's just brutal.
Yeah, sorry, she didn't confirm those crits.
Oof.
And intimate it is. Membership in a D&D group is more privileged than Donald Trump's offspring.
That
Oh no!
Damn.
that aged like well.
Oh, it's
Could you
great.
imagine? Just like going back to like when they were talking about forums. Just like go back to like a forum back in the day that's still going on to this day after the election of Trump.
Oh, it's going to be a trash fire. So Dungeons and Dragons games tend to be weekly, and the members are dedicated. It sucks to go out into the big bad wild without your cleric, and playing the absentee guy's character plus your own is just too much responsibility for some. That's what the DM's for. Or they just vanish into the pizza dimension. That's an actual thing in our group. Again, don't take it personally if your application is turned down. Nothing against your juju. It could just be that the group's existing vibe may be too good to mess with. If you're the kind of person who doesn't like to be told no, perhaps it's best you start your own game. You could search for a dungeon master. Oh no, this is bad advice.
Dungeon Master.
You search for a dungeon master the same as you would for players or a group looking for your new members. Start with your friends, and if no one's willing to cop any priors DMing, move on. Fill your group with friends or anyone whose life you wouldn't mind saving. If you have an experienced
Saving?
DM, I don't know either. I think she had a brain aneurysm when she wrote this sentence.
I thought I heard something about cop a feel. I don't know.
I don't know. All I hear are locusts in my head and the laughter of children. We need to finish this. If you have an experienced DM, you can all be new to Dungeons and Dragons. It's almost more fun to start out that way. Except for Teddy, he's drinking in the fucking car.
Yeah.
He's seeking oblivion by gambling with Lady Luck that night.
Mhm.
And the only thing
Yeah,
he has to gamble.
this starts off, and like next time is like when she like starts off about her adventures being a DM, so that'll be fun.
Oh
And
boy,
the
we get
only-
to see Shelly, who can't even be fucked to make a character for herself, try to run the rules of a system she didn't read.
Yep.
She's gonna fuck this up so hard. She's gonna be like, okay, that nat won, but I'm gonna let you kill the dragon anyway because you're kind of hot and I want to sleep with you.
Well, she brought her wine mom friends, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a trash fire. Or actually, I should to quote a Red Letter Media clip. It's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It'd be great.
because Shelly is a funnier character than we've ever had before.
If we can get her working, if we can just get her working.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night.
Nighty night,
Yeah.
people.
Bye.
Yeah.